Hey everyone. I'm willing to bet that you've probably been feeling the pinch of these rising energy costs lately.
Yeah, it's a global issue.
Definitely a pain we're all sharing. But what if there was a way to kind of flip the script? Like, what if you could outsmart those rising costs and take control of your electricity use?
That would be amazing.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Awesome.
We're heading over to Sri Lanka, and we'll be using a final year project from the University of Sunderland to guide us through it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Where an engineer named Damira Idumal has created a system that could really change the game.
It's so cool. What's really interesting is that Idumul's system is called It's-Me.
I love that name.
It's a cool and personalized name, and it's built to be affordable and user-friendly, which is important right now with the economic situation in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
perfect because this ITSME system really lets you take control. Imagine you set a budget for your electricity, and the system actually helps you stay within those limits. It's like having a personal finance guru, but just for your energy.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. The tech behind it isn't some crazy expensive futuristic thing.
Yeah.
It's built on parts that are readily available, like the NodeMCU. It's this tiny but mighty microcontroller. You find it in a ton of DIY projects.
Yeah.
And then there's sensors all over the place measuring your electricity consumption, and then it all connects to the cloud using Blynk.
It's really a perfect example of how the Internet of Things can be used to tackle these real-world problems.
The Internet of Things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
connecting everyday devices to the internet.
Right.
So by getting appliances online, we can get all these insights into how much energy they use, and then we can actually do something about it.
Okay, so before we kind of get lost in all the tech details,
Yeah,
paint a picture for us.
yeah.
What's the energy scene like in Sri Lanka? What even sparked this whole innovation?
Sri Lanka's been hit really hard by skyrocketing electricity costs. We're talking a 66% increase
Wow.
in just 1 year, from 2022 to 2023.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it puts an enormous strain on families, especially those with lower incomes. And it's kind of a story that you see with global energy trends. Even as we're shifting toward renewables, those lower costs haven't always trickled down to the people who are actually paying the bills.
66%.
Yeah.
That really puts into perspective this whole project. He's not just playing around. He's trying to solve a real problem for people.
Exactly, and you can't really grasp Sri Lanka's energy journey without understanding its past.
Totally.
For centuries, it was all about firewood for daily needs.
Oh, wow.
But then the world shifted towards industry, and all of a sudden, Sri Lanka is relying on imported petroleum. It adds a whole new layer of complexity.
So they went from this local renewable source to being dependent on global fossil fuels. I can see how that kind of sets the stage for these energy problems they're having today.
Absolutely. As Sri Lanka is embracing electricity, managing costs becomes so important, and that's where this smart energy system comes in.
Let's get back to this It's May system. What's at the heart of it?
Right.
How does it actually help people keep their energy use in check and their spending in check?
It's May is all about putting you in control. You set a budget for your electricity, and it's like this digital watchdog, making sure you stay within those limits.
Oh, cool.
So the system figures out how to use your appliances based on what you say is a priority.
Okay.
Imagine a fridge that always stays on, but maybe your water heater is a little bit more strategic about when it runs.
So it's like a personalized energy plan, tailored to your life as your budget. But how does it actually do that? What are the building blocks of It's May?
The system has three main parts: the central hub, the node devices, and the Blynk Cloud.
Okay, let's break those down one by one. First up, the central hub. Where does this live and what's its job?
So picture the central hub like the brain of the operation. It's at your home's main electrical panel. It's equipped with these voltage and current sensors, so it's constantly reading the energy flow.
So it's like mission control for your electricity. What about these node devices? What are they doing?
The node devices are like tiny data collectors. Each one is assigned to a specific appliance. They're like little energy accountants. They're measuring how much electricity each appliance is using.
So that's how the system figures out which appliances are using the most energy.
You got it. That's what makes the system smart. It's not just about the overall use, it's about knowing exactly where the energy's going.
Makes sense.
And to make it even more efficient, Adumal designed the system to tell the difference between priority and non-priority appliances.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. This priority system. How does the system know which ones are essential and which ones are more flexible?
That's where you come in. The system lets you personalize it, so you decide which appliances you absolutely need.
I love that. You get to tailor it to your actual life. So what about the non-priority appliances? Does it just shut them off when things get tight?
No, it's not that harsh. It's about being smart, not forceful. So it considers your budget, your energy habits, and even the cost of electricity in real time, all to make these strategic decisions.
So it's like a conductor orchestrating everything to save energy, but without totally disrupting your life. How does all this information get back to you? That's where the Blynk Cloud comes in, right?
Exactly. Imagine the Blynk Cloud as the communication highway. It's making sure there's a smooth flow of data between the central hub, the node devices, and your phone.
Wait, so I could actually see my energy use on my phone, like in real time?
That's the beauty of it. You get a user-friendly dashboard where you can track your consumption, see how your costs are adding up, and even get alerts if you're getting close to your budget.
That's incredible. No more bill shock at the end of the month. It sounds like a pretty impressive system.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious about the details. How did iDumol actually build this using like everyday tech?
It's pretty ingenious. He used available components and combined them in a clever and cost-effective way, which is really key for a place like Sri Lanka.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's dive deeper into the technical stuff.
Sounds good. Let's start with those node devices, those tiny data collectors that are attached to your appliances, gathering all the info on energy use. At the heart of each one is this chip, the NodeMCU ESP8266.
The NodeMCU, I've actually heard of that one. Isn't that a favorite for DIY electronics people?
Yeah.
What makes it so good for this project?
It's like the Swiss Army knife of microcontrollers. Small, affordable, and packed with features. The really key thing here is that it has built-in Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it can talk to the Blynk Cloud and send all that energy data. It's also super versatile and really easy to program, which is perfect for a project like this.
So it's like the brains of the operation right there on the appliance. But how does it actually measure the electricity going through? Does it have to like tap into the wiring?
That's where the current transformer comes in.
Okay.
It's a clever way to measure the current without actually being invasive. Imagine it clamps around the wire that's carrying the electricity, no cutting or splicing needed, and it creates a current that's proportional in its secondary winding, which we can then easily measure.
Oh, so it's kind of like a detective observing the flow of electricity without interrupting it.
Exactly. And there's another key player on each node device, the relay module.
Okay, what does the relay module do? Is that part of the measuring too?
The relay module is more like the muscle. Think of it like a light switch, but instead of your finger flipping it, the system's brain, the central hub, is calling the shots.
Right.
It can physically turn an appliance on or off based on instructions from the central hub.
So the node device is gathering energy data from the appliance, sending it to the cloud, and the central hub can tell it to turn on or off. It's like a synchronized energy dance.
You got it. Now remember, the central hub, the brain we talked about, it's making decisions about which appliances get powered and when. To do that, it needs to know the overall voltage and current coming into your house.
And that's where those special voltage and current sensors come in, right?
Exactly. The central hub uses these specialized sensors that can handle the force of your home's electricity. It has one for measuring the voltage and a current transformer to measure the current.
So similar to what's happening on the node devices, which scaled up for the main power source.
Exactly. Now all this data is flowing into the central hub where it's analyzed and turned into insights. It's not just hardware, though, there's software, too.
I was just thinking about that. It's not enough to just gather data. There has to be something that makes sense of it all.
Absolutely. The central hub runs on code written in C++, and it uses this platform called the Arduino IDE. You've probably heard of it if you're into DIY electronics.
Oh yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to my college coding days.
So what kind of calculations is the central hub actually doing? Is it just tracking how many kilowatt hours you use, or is there more to it?
Yeah, is it more than that?
It's doing much more than just keeping track. It's constantly crunching numbers to figure out your real-time power consumption. It's predicting how much energy you're likely to use, and it even factors in things like time-of-day electricity rates to help you save money.
So it's like having a personal energy analyst working 24/7 to optimize your usage. That's pretty impressive.
And remember that budget you set. The central hub is laser-focused on keeping you within those limits. It's constantly adjusting how the non-priority appliances are used so you don't overspend.
It's like a financial advisor for your electricity. I'm really starting to see how powerful this system is.
But how do we know it actually works? Did Adumel put it to the test to see if it's accurate and effective?
Yeah, good question.
He absolutely did. He wanted to make sure it actually worked. To check the accuracy of those current sensors, he used a clip-on meter, the Zoe ZTQB4. It's a high-quality one. He used it as a benchmark.
So he was double-checking the system's readings. What did he find?
The results were perfect. The readings from the system's sensors matched up with the readings from the Zoe ZTQB4. The voltage testing took some more fine-tuning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he got the accuracy there too.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Sounds like he went above and beyond to make sure it was trustworthy. But did he test the whole budget control feature? The part where the system actually manages those non-priority appliances?
Oh, he wouldn't have missed that. To test it, he ran some tests where the daily budget was exceeded on purpose.
Did it work? Did the system take control?
It did, exactly as planned. When the budget limit was crossed, the system jumped into action, sent the signal through the Blynk Cloud, and those relays on the Node devices flipped the switch on those non-priority appliances, just as they were programmed to do.
So the system passed with flying colors. It's not just theoretical, it's a real solution that can actually help people save money. But what about the future? Is this as good as it gets? Or does IDMAL have bigger plans?
This is just the beginning. He has a whole list of things he wants to do to make it even better. He wants to make it smarter and more versatile.
So what kind of upgrades is he thinking about for the future?
Well, one thing he's really focused on is how to handle multiple priority devices. Right now, you can only pick one appliance as your top priority,
Right.
but he wants to give people more choices. Like, imagine prioritizing different appliances based on your needs. Maybe the fridge in your home office are non-negotiables.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially for families or anyone working from home. No more choosing between a cold fridge and a working computer.
Exactly. Another thing he wants to improve are the relay modules, the ones acting as the switches.
Right.
Right now, he's using those conventional relays. They work fine, but they can be a bit clunky and not the most energy efficient.
So is he thinking about switching to those solid-state relays? The super fast, silent types?
You got it. Solid-state relays would make the system even more responsive and could save even more energy.
Faster switching and more energy savings. I like the sound of that. What else is on his list?
You ready for this one? He's looking at adding AI. Imagine a system that learns your energy habits and can predict what you need.
Wow.
It could give you personalized tips on how to use less energy, like an AI energy coach.
That would be amazing, taking this to a whole new level. AI is just getting more and more advanced. What else is he thinking about?
Well, he also wants to create a better user interface. He's thinking of adding more language options. So it's not just in English. It would make the system accessible to more people in Sri Lanka.
That's so important. Making technology accessible, and that includes languages.
It shows that he's thinking about those social impacts.
It's inspiring to see his vision.
Yeah.
He's not just focused on the tech stuff, but making a real difference.
He really wants to empower people.
It's clear he's passionate about this, and it goes way beyond just Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
He sees this as a model for solving energy problems everywhere. It's really amazing how something that started from necessity turned into something so innovative.
It shows the power of human ingenuity. Solutions can come from anywhere. Even with limited resources, you can make a big impact.
So for everyone listening,
That's right.
first, those rising electricity costs. They're not just a local thing, it's a global issue. Second, brilliant minds are out there creating solutions to help us use less energy and save money. And finally, technology can be a force for good. It can help create a more sustainable and equitable world.
Perfectly said. And it leaves us with this question to think about. How could solutions like this be used to solve other problems, maybe in your community? Or even globally? It's something to think about.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into smart energy in Sri Lanka. Thanks for listening and learning with us. As always, stay curious and keep exploring.